How am I going to start? I didn't plan.
Welcome back. We didn't plan to do this again so soon, but here we are. Some dickhead got sent boxings. Now Wizards has killed him.
That's what
For reasons they did not kill him.
As for the actual start, it's not far off. Welcome back to the Breakfast Wrap-Up podcast. As you can see, Josh and Kieran are joining me again because something has happened in Magic the Gathering news. Something has happened. It was big. We weren't going to come back until Aftermath was either spoiled or coming into a release.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
It's why we're here, but it's not the legit reasons of why we're here. For anyone who hasn't paid attention to Magic the Gathering news, is it One More Magic Gaming? That's the YouTube channel, I believe. He went off, and I'm pretty sure that his story is he was on his honeymoon. His friend rang him up and said, "Hey, I got some Aftermath boxes for sale. Do you want to buy them?" And he went, "Yeah, sure."
Wasn't it March of the Machine?
Oh no, yeah, they said March of the Machine boxes. So he went.
The guy's channel was called Old School MTG.
Old School Magic Teaching. Thank you. Wait, Old School MTG. Old School MTG. He came back from his honeymoon, and the guy was like, "I'm going to buy these booster boxes." And when he bought them, he saw that they said Aftermath on the back, so he didn't know what he had bought, and was then opening up on YouTube and asking all of the chat to be there, like all the chat in the comments to be like, "Hey, has anyone else got these boxes?" Not realizing that he was spoiling.
He's getting a promo.
Yeah, he was spoiling an entire set that is not out yet. What did you guys think of that?
It was a bit crazy. Like I sort of like only watched part of that video, and I just can't imagine being in that guy's scenario. Sort of like just stumbling upon these like leaked, potentially stolen cards, as we'll allude to later on. But yeah, it was great, and just some of the cards alone really sort of piqued my interest. Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, Kieran, what did you think?
So, I was previously wrong when I said 80 card set. It's a 50 card set.
50. So we've probably seen most of them.
Officially, we've had Jarell Voice of Zephyr and Kenrith's
funeral, right?
Royal Funeral, yeah. Both have been spoiled.
Yeah, that was by Wizards themselves.
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, this is going to be in standard. That's cool." So we were left with 48 cards out in the ether.
Yeah.
And then a guy opens a box.
Well, that was the thing. He opened up 3 boxes because there was 3 separate videos that he did.
Yeah, so, both of which are now unavailable.
Yeah. So that's basically, we've probably seen all of the cards then if we've watched the videos. So there's probably at the very least 80% of the box has been spoiled. And that's shocking.
Yeah, so we're following the previous arc where the plane that the card is from, we're getting the alt arts from that plane. So it's basically a tacked on set. It's kind of like they've gone, "Hey, here's real life alchemy."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or just DLC, if you want to think of it in those terms.
Activision, you bastard.
They've done it. Add-ons for Magic the Gathering. For those that have not heard the news, I woke up this morning, checked my phone, saw the guy uploaded a video. We saw that the videos where he was opening up the boxes had disappeared. I then posted on the chat for these guys to be like, "Hey, he's uploaded another video, let's watch it." And what was it? Wizards called the Pinkerton Security Company?
Yeah, which is a big deal from what I understand. It's like, it's not, they don't mess around.
Yeah, they rocked up at his house. So that took them, because they were up for 2 days, so it took them 2 days to find out who he was and where he lived. They rocked up at his house, and they were basically like, "You have stolen property in your possession from Wizards of the Coast."
Made his wife cry.
Yeah. I think it's because they're probably intimidated by the fact that it's a big deal, because they were, what is this? Basically copyright infringement.
Yeah.
So, but he was...
Possession of stolen goods, potentially, as well.
But from what I gathered from the video, Wizards were basically like, "We're not doing anything to you guys. We just want the product back, and we'll reimburse them."
Yeah, he didn't go into any sort of description in terms of what they were going to give him, but apparently said they were going to give him some sort of reimbursement, whether it just be...
It's a 20 quid in its Twix. Don't win, you spoil everything.
Oh, poor man. But literally, the fact that it took Wizards only 2 days for them to find him
Yeah.
is kind of scary.
Yeah.
But no, that's it. They went to his house. They took all of the cards back, and they basically asked him if he can take the videos down. So
Very nicely.
very nice.
Very nice.
A load of lawyers probably were banging on his door and being like, "You need to take them down for reasons." But
It's like pissing off Disney, isn't it?
yeah,
Wizards of the Coast of the Disney of the TCG world.
but he's now basically said for everyone else has done reactions to his videos to basically the original video. If that stuff is up, they might go to other people. So we're going to talk about some of the cards that have been spoiled. So if you don't want any spoilers, then there's your warning.
Planes walk away.
Planes walk away.
Or don't.
Or don't. Stay and find out some of the cool stuff that we have found out from these packs being opened. Josh, start with you. What cards do you want to talk about?
So I'm particularly interested in the Planeswalkers, or the now desparked Planeswalkers. I'll be very interested to see in the lore. That's what I'm interested in, the lore. How did they lose their spark? What happened? Some of them a bit more obvious than others for the examples that I'm going to talk about. Like, but for example, the first one, Sarkhan, Soul Aflame, 1 generic mana, 1 blue, 1 red, legendary creature, human shaman, for a 2/4. Dragon spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So already for me, it's just an upgraded version of Dragon Lord Servant. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Sarkhan Soul of Flame become a copy of it until the end of turn, except its name is Sarkhan Soul of Flame and it's legendary in addition to its other types. So this, for me, goes straight in my Mirim deck. Because
it's a Mirim. It's
a
second Mirim.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm super, super hyped by this card. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to show the images of these cards, but the art looks sick.
Can you hand draw them, like, really? Just send them to Doc.
I'll get my infinite tokens out and just sort of like do my best impression.
I'll call up Sandra and be there like, here, go.
Write words on it, but make it just different enough we don't get in trouble.
But yeah, no, I'm so excited for this card. It's probably my favorite card that's been spoiled of the entire set.
That shocks me because I know you've run another one that has been spoiled as a reprint.
There's the fact that he can come in as a copy as any dragon reminds me of the Scion of the Ur Dragon combination, of where, because Scion of the Ur Dragon can copy whatever dragons in your deck.
That's right.
So you copy Skifferics. So for him, like, you play Skifferics, and he becomes a copy of Skifferict, but now all of a sudden you're going to have to pay that 1 extra black for haste.
Yeah.
So you can just swing straight with him.
He is in colours, yeah.
But he can fit straight into a 5-color dragon deck.
Yeah.
Because if you run the Ur Dragon and have Scion in there, he's just basically a second Scion.
Or
you just double up on whatever dragon you need.
He does he enter as a copy of a dragon?
No. So he comes in as him, but when another dragon enters the battlefield, it can.
So that's mid.
And it is a May ability.
I was trying to think because Tiamat. Is Tiamat's ability an ETB?
I think Tiamat is an ETB.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to double up Tiamat's ability.
No.
But,
shame.
But it would be funny then to have, like, copy the Dragon Queen. So every time you play a dragon, you get a 6/6. So he just becomes a copy of the Dragon Queen.
Yeah. Or just sort of like just decent dragons that have like good like static abilities, like Old Norbone, for example. You can play it, but because Sarkhan's already been on the field, swing straight away and get the value straight.
Is it also Ancient Copper Dragon? That's the one that attacks.
Copper Dragon, yeah.
Attacks, get a bunch of treasures. So this guy's going to be so good in many dragon decks.
Yeah. Like this is this is a card I pre-order as and when I can. This is just like I can't wait for it. I just need it as soon as I can, and I want it.
Earthquake Dragon.
Yeah. There's like this. I'm just thinking of all the cards in my Mirim deck and just thinking like I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this card.
Earthquake Dragon would be an interesting thing to copy with it because it gives it a degree of protection because you can bounce it back to hand.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is he copied until the end of turn, or he just copies it?
Whenever dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you may have Sarkhan Soul of Flame become a copy of it until the end of turn. Yeah, except
cool. So he's protected for the turn.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's a very good card.
So good. The next one is again another sparkless planeswalker, Nissa, Resurgent Animist, 2 generic and a green mana. Elf Scout is a creature type. Unfortunately, the image that I have here, the power difference is covered, so I'm not sure what the power difference is.
I might have wrote that down. Give me a set. I'm pretty sure she's a 3/3.
That's very sweet, not bad. She is a creature with landfall, which personally, again, I love. When a land is battlefield under your control, add 1 mana of any color. Already, will just straight up replace Lotus Cobra in my Omnath Locus of creation deck.
She's 1 more mana.
Even then,
No,
that's
if
just
you're playing green, you're not worried.
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know what? Have both.
Yeah,
Replaces cards anymore.
Yeah.
101 cards. Who gives a shit?
Then there's more. Then if this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an elf or this elemental card. Put that card into your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So I run quite a few elementals in my deck, a couple of elves. But yeah, this
Just
is
shoot her straight down.
You're either getting a mana dog or you're getting another Omnath.
Yeah, because I've got the Angry Omnath in there.
The Angry Omnath.
Yeah,
I love Magic the Gathering shorthand. At some point, we've got to do an episode of dumb shorthand.
Yeah, this is another just straight upgrade for a card in one of my favorite decks. I'm just pumped from that perspective. Yeah, love it less to say about that one, but just cool card.
I like the artwork for it. I hope it gets an alt art.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because home plane being Zendikar is gonna look cool.
Yeah. And also, how did she grow her hair back so quick? She was bald in the last set.
We don't know how long it's been.
That's true, actually.
Aftermath. It's any time in the aftermath. Mind you,
Could be a year.
she's an animist. She just grew it back.
That is true. She should probably just use magic.
2 feet in the ground. Grew it.
Or she a plant just stands in their waters herself.
I'm not gonna lie. Fucking hate elf tribal, so there's a certain degree of prejudice towards elves right now. PTSD from bloody Calheim.
Yeah.
£20 precons. The format was rampant.
And then the last card that I'm going to talk about, again, just brings me back to my standard days of Dragons of Tarkir, Khans of Tarkir.
I see.
Narset, Enlightened Exile, 1 generic mana and Jeskai, blue, red, white. Human Monk, 3/4. Creatures you control have prowess, including her.
That's dumb.
That's amazing.
That's dumb.
In fact, it doesn't say non-token creatures.
Yeah.
So you can just generate ball loads of 1/1s off some bullshit white spell, soldiers.
It's just all of a sudden just start casting cantrips and be there like, did you like my 10/10/10s?
And I'm assuming prowess doesn't stack.
Prowess does stack.
Oh, it does stack.
2 instances of prowess give you 2 instances.
Yeah, so if you had a Monastery Swift Spear and all of the other prowess cards and then played her, they would have double prowess.
Yeah, so I'm building this deck.
Well, hello, Commander.
I get told I'm a problem because I run Cyclonic Rift, and this guy is like, I'm going to have triple prowess.
So whenever Narset Enlightened Exile attacks, exile target non-creature, non-land card with mana value less than Narset's power from a graveyard and copy it. Graveyard and copy it. You may cast this copy without paying its mana cost.
That's from an attack.
That's from an attack.
That is busted.
Meat hook, dickhead.
That is busted.
That is 100% busted. Again, another card I am ordering on site.
She can grab something from someone's grave and then buffs the entire board.
Yeah.
Which makes it dumber because of Jeskai Ascendancy being a card, which basically gives them pseudo prowess anyway. I hate it.
So, fun fact. In the same colour as the old Atali as well, so you can get double trigger.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get like,
well, in theory, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4 triggers.
Yes. Fill it with like extra combat steps, and you're laughing.
It's genuinely probably one of my biggest candidates in the set, from what I've seen, for a CDH commander.
Yeah, this could be MVP of the set. This could be it.
For all of the Jeskai players, yeah. For me, it's a kill on sight commander.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to rock up and be like, I built this, it's fun. And I'm like, this does not scream fun.
It's in the colours of haste enablers, it's in the colour of control, it's in the colour of tokens.
It's got two of the biggest interaction colours in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're running swords to plowshares, you're running removal, and you're gaining nothing but advantage off it.
Oh my god, it's disgusting. In short, it's amazing, but I hate it because I know I'm going to be against it all the time.
Because blue is the colour of I'm going to defend myself, I'm going to interact with you on your turn. Red is sheer aggression. You can remove stuff on their board. You can give your so many things haste. This is also in the colour of what's it called? New Capenna mechanic. Oh, it gives things haste.
Oh, dash is it?
Yes,
Blitz.
Blitz.
There we go.
Blitz. It's in the colours for Blitz as well, so you can get really dumb shit off it. And it's in the colour of white, which, like I said, it's just interaction, removal, token makers. You can run a Knight of Procession in this.
So excited.
Isn't there a Jeskai monk as well that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, he makes a 1/1?
Monastery mental. Yeah.
In the
He's a
colour
white.
of Felidar Retreat as well.
Oh my god.
Landfall, baby.
You can landfall this.
I'm so excited. So
I'm
excited.
so not happy. I'm
Already
excited.
theorising the list.
I'm already thinking of my decks and going, right, I'm going to put like Glare of Heresy in there, so it's exile target white permanent. I'm going to put it in every deck I have.
But also, like I said, the issue is, anything you run against it, it can run against you as soon as you've used it.
Oh, yeah, that's a point.
That you go, okay, board wipe. They go, okay, I'm going to wait for you. Build a board presence. Sick.
Any
Board wipe.
non-creature spell from a grave.
Target non-creature, non-land card with mana value less than Narset's power from a.
Bearing in mind, you stack her up and get prowess pretty high.
Oh, yeah.
You're able to cast like high-level board wipes. Wrath of God.
It's also
the colour of Wrath of God.
It's in the colour of Anthem Effects of the whites and stuff, so you can just put Dictate of Heliod in there and make it a 5.
Yeah.
You can just grab any board.
And I've kind of already got a Jeskai deck that would just love this card. Just like you've seen my Elsha deck.
Yeah.
Like that mana, the mana.
Honestly, it's a direct upgrade to Elsha.
Yeah, it is.
Just Elsha goes in the bin for this.
Yeah, because I think my average mana value of that deck is like 1.96.
We had this discussion. I was playing Gutted Teague versus this deck, and he just went, "Cool, this doesn't affect me."
Yeah.
Great. Kieran, do you have any cards that are fun?
Boy, do I! Got way more energy than the last podcast. I woke up at a decent time. Let's go. So we're going Wooberg because why would I not? Niv Mizzet Supreme.
I love him.
Legendary creature, dragon avatar. Unfortunately, his thumb covers the power and toughness, so I don't have that at hand right now. But it is flying, hexproof and mono-coloured.
Most removal.
How you doing there, goblin flesh? And each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard that's exactly 2 colours has Jumpstart. So Jumpstart, for those that don't know, pay its normal mana cost from the graveyard, discard something.
Oh.
So, I have a list here. Let me not use the horrible clicky mouse. Of gold board wipes.
Well, I mean,
crime and punishment is a thing. No, it's not in the right. Oh, it is. It's Wooberg. So I get access to every board wipe in the game. The temptation to play board wipe tribal is huge. But also on top of that, like crime and punishment, Dune Blast, Gaze of Granite mid. Like honestly, some of these are mid, but then you've got Heaven and Earth. Merciless Eviction.
Oh my god, yeah, you can just take out all artifacts and enchantments.
There was.
So is it? It needs only 2 or more pips, or just 2?
It has to be 2 because it's guild stuff.
Oh, of course. So you run all Ravnica cards.
what about
Supreme Verdict.
What about?
Oh God.
Oh, I'm blanking on the term now.
World Purge.
Where you've got the mana symbol, but it's like 2 of the mana symbols.
It does count.
Hybrid mana.
It does count because it's 2 identity.
Okay.
So that's why like World Purge works, because World Purge is 4 and then white blue hybrid 4. Return all permanents to their owner's hands. Each player chooses up to 7 cards in his or her hand and shuffles the rest into his or her library. Empty all mana pools.
Oh my god.
That's a sorcery. It's a little slow, but I just love playing weird, janky cards. If I can make something weird and janky work, I'll play it all day.
I trust you to find the new 5-color commander and be there like this. We can make it broken.
It's not broken. It's functional. That was broken. Mr. 3-color over here, he's fine. Because if I play this, he's just going to play it as well.
Oh, that's true, actually, yeah. This is why Narset's not going to be fun. I'm telling you, you rock up with Narset, I am running every removal spell. It's not living to see the light of day.
But basically, I can just look at any set that was released in Ravnica and go, cool, I like that, and run it in the deck.
Yes.
You can treat it a lot like you could treat the old Golos.
Oh, yeah.
You can just go, sick, here's a handful of 2-mana pips that I fancy running today.
So on that note then, obviously Golos banned about a year or so ago. Is this going to be the new Golos?
I don't think so. I don't think it's powerful enough. Golos was banned because it was just utility. You could do frightening stuff with it. It's just weird, janky utility. It's hexproof from monocolored. If you have a local meta that's predominantly one color, then yeah, it's a great card. But Jeskai. What even are you? I don't think I've played a Magic game against you in ages.
It affects me a lot because I run mono black, mono red, mono green, mono blue. So I run a lot of monocolored decks. But I do have a red-white deck now. But again, I think I run one removal spell that is 2 colors.
Yeah.
When I make my Phyrexian tribal deck, it'll have Mortify, Utter End, Anguished Unmaking. So that will be able to hit it, but again...
But also...
Terminate.
I love the fact in this that... Because Jumpstart is discard a card to cast a card for its normal mana cost. You can just put things in the bin to cycle through your hand really quickly.
It's true.
And with black, you've got access to reanimated stuff. So even if you don't have something just disposable to hand, you can just get rid of a powerful card, get it back later on. You can even introduce some self mill elements to it to really get you going.
It falls apart the minute there's any graveyard hit on the board, though.
Oh yeah,
but I love this just because it's a 5-color card. It's Niv Mizzet in general. I love the artwork for it. In the artwork for Niv Mizzet, interestingly, he has a big blue glow in his chest, which makes me think Niv Mizzet Spark, possibly Planeswalking Dragon.
We'll have another one. We need to replace Nico Bolas.
Good old Nico Bolas. Also talking about, I run a dinosaur deck. Last set, I was like, oh, great, I don't have to buy anything. And then they spoiled, so many good dinosaurs. And then, my binder's empty. We've got Tranquil Frillback, 2 and a green.
Mm-hmm.
Really simple card. Creature, dinosaur, it's a rare. It's a 3/3 for 3, passes vanilla test, already allowed. When it enters the battlefield, you can pay green up to 3 times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, choose up to that many. So you've got 3 options. You got destroy target artifact or enchantment, so it's just cross and grave. Exile target player's graveyard. Graveyard hate for dinosaurs. As a tribe, we needed it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. There's just a flat gain for life effect, which is a bit mid. Honestly, half the time I'm going to be paying 2. So half the time I'm going to be paying 5 mana for this card.
Yeah.
And that was an ETB effect, you said?
It is an ETB effect. So if I can, dinosaurs are in Naya, so we've got weird flicker effects we can run, but honestly, I'm not running a flicker effect for this.
Yeah.
It's a one and done. I don't like the fact that you're playing mono black today. That one, nice and simple. Last card I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
Training Grounds is not only in standard right now, but it's in a print of a 50-card set at rare.
At rare.
Highly likely to get it then.
Yeah, you will.
For those that don't know, Training Grounds, 1 blue pip. We can actually flash a picture of this, cover my face. Because this has been printed before, so we're allowed to show this one. Just don't show the old one. Don't show the new one, sorry. Enchantment, 1 blue pip. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the mana cost to less than 1 mana. This is an amazing card for just activated ability deck.
Oh, yeah.
It genuinely makes so many, like, you run it. What do you run it in? I've seen you play it.
No, so I used to run it in my Memnock deck, which I've since disbanded because nobody liked Memnock.
And you copy it.
But yeah, even then I was like only proxying it because it's just an expensive ass card.
Yeah.
Because it's just seen next to no reprints. I was just about to check the.
Well, that's the thing. I remember seeing in a comment section people saying that the price of Training Grounds has tanked recently.
I will.
So now is probably the time to pick one up if you haven't already.
Yeah, basically. Because Training Grounds hadn't been reprinted for a while.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just a.
Only ever had 3 printings.
Only
one was a Judge promo.
Oh, fair.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Other was on the list, and the other was Rise of Eldrazi.
Mm-hmm.
The Judge promo one's gorgeous.
How much is the Rise of Eldrazi one?
So I'm seeing prices from €10 right now.
That's pretty good.
€10. It used to be higher.
Let me check where it was.
Yeah, there we go. See a tag.
Yeah.
So it was a 20. I'm using euros here because euros and
card market and stuff.
Yeah, I can change it to pounds, but who does that? Too lazy. So I don't know if Dom's able to do this for funsies, but if you can just screen cap the graph from Card Market right now for the Rise of the Eldrazi version of Training Grounds, you'll see that on the 15th of the 4th, it was $25.90. It dipped a little bit to like 20, and then the video I think got published on the 19th.
Yeah.
And then it falls off a cliff.
Yeah, just immediately tanked.
Within a day, it went from $22.83 to $14.99.
And is now sitting at $10.
Today, we are at a €10 card. The cheapest mint copy right now in English will cost me €10.99.
I wasn't going to buy one, but now I am because I've got a Scarab God deck that I've been meaning to rebuild for a long time. And
Imagine, again, going back to the guy that spoiled all this, imagine being the guy that's now known as the one that crashed the entire card market.
Absolute legend.
Each Judge promo is €20 right now.
Oh my!
That is unheard of for like Judge promo stuff. Like this one, 7th of the 4th, €31. It tanked day of. Well, actually, no. It's weirdly like held value. But now we're starting to see it trend downwards
again.
Jeez. Yeah, like €19.
Pick up your Training Grounds or wait for the Aftermath packs to come out.
Wait for the Aftermath Prime.
Oh yeah, no, because the Aftermath prints will come out, and those will probably be cheaper.
Yeah,
because they're on the market immediately.
And it's a new artwork because we've only ever had the Rise of the Eldrazi artwork, which
in
is
the
like
promo.
2 people going. Psh. At the Training Grounds Judge promo is 6. It's like Kamigawa samurais fighting.
Yeah.
And then this new one is, let's have a look. It's weirdly spirity Eldraine artwork. I can't read who the artist is on this, but it looks a bit Seven Cannon-y.
Yeah.
But we won't get into Seven Cannon stuff today. That's drama.
That is drama, yeah.
Oh, is he one of the bad ones?
He has like weird support.
Views.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not going there. Not today. Yeah, in general, set review so far.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is gas.
It's concentrated gas.
Yeah.
Like, this is the fruit cordial of fucking Magic the Gathering. It's just concentrated bullshit in a set, and I love it.
Do we know how much a single pack will be?
Oh, I can tell you it's on average. Isn't it like normal packs are 5 cards a pack or 6 cards a pack? It's not a big
pack.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I find the information, I will ask Liam, and then it's in my hands. This is how much it is a pack.
Yeah, if we know.
If not, I'm a dickhead.
There are 2 cards that I wanted to talk about. One of them, because in terms of Oathbreaker, it's going to be very interesting to see what it does. The other one, because this guy's going to like it. Most Jeskai artifact decks are going to love it. The first one for Oathbreaker is Deification. 1 white, 1 non-specific. It's an enchantment that when it enters the battlefield, you choose a Planeswalker type. For those that don't know and have heard Planeswalker type and are very confused, it's just the name of the Planeswalker. So Ajani, Nissa.
Even I was confused by that one, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a weird thing you don't normally pay any attention to because it's just at the end of like legendary Planeswalker dash Ajani, but you just go, cool, it's in the name, I don't care.
Yeah, but now those are their types, and it's Ajani, Elspeth, and all of their names.
So a quick camera check while you talk.
Cool. Planeswalkers you control of the chosen type will immediately have hexproof the moment that this comes on board.
We record.
Dope. So that's going to be broken for Oathbreaker because it's just one white, one non-specific. So if you have any Planeswalker that is just running white, this comes in, you can just immediately go, oh yeah, I'm choosing my commander. So if you're running like Elspeth Tribal, it's just the entire deck is filled with Elspeths. You just play Deification, which is funny because the card art is basically Elspeth with her wings, but it's a statue and people are praying to it. So,
reminds me of, have you seen Isaac's Garrick Tribal?
Yeah, it's a good deck as well.
So nearly worked.
If there was a Garrick that splashed white and he put that in,
he showed me the list and I was like, this shouldn't work.
But it's going to. The other ability of it is as long as you control a creature, any damage dealt to a Planeswalker you control of the chosen type would result in all loyalty counters on it being removed. Instead, all but one of those counters are removed. In short, your Planeswalker cannot die through combat damage or anyone bolting it, as long as you control one creature.
Your Planeswalker has protection from itself.
Yeah.
So that, because that, Sarah's emblem, Sarah the Benevolent Emblem, has a sort of similar-ish effect.
Where you can't die as long as you have a creature on board. So it's basically that.
A bit inspired by that, I guess.
Yeah. So Deification is going to be immediately in any white Oathbreaker deck, because especially if it's centered around the Oathbreaker being the main part.
Did you say that was Sarah's emblem?
Sarah the Benevolent, yeah.
Which is funny because isn't it Sarah's
Sarah was the one who gave her powers.
So
So this just sparked something in my brain. Then there was talk. There was talk before about the gods of Theros. A lot of them are just gone now. Who will be the next gods? Deification, statue to Elspeth. Is Elspeth going to be the next white-aligned god on Theros?
Well, that's a weird one because Nyx. The way Nyx works, isn't it? That
it's belief that it's Pratchett gods.
Yeah.
It's Pratchett gods. That's the best way to put it. For those that don't know, in Discworld, belief powers the existence of things. So if you believe there is, to go from the scene from I think it's in the Hogfather, if you believe in a fairy that mows people's hair, it just exists.
Oh, cool.
So Theros is a very similar thing of, I believe in God of cheese sandwiches. Like suddenly there's a constellation of cheese sandwiches up there, and he sure likes cheese sandwiches. So the issue with, it could work that way, and if it does, that's great.
Then we'll have a separate entity that will just basically be what people view Elspeth as.
It's an idealized Elspeth.
It would be, it'll be a really interesting one as well, because Heliod being the mono white god before killing Elspeth. Elspeth's entire journey coming out, she becomes like the full Planeswalker angel. But back on Theros, there's a god version of her replacing Heliod.
Because, interestingly, in Magic the Gathering, angels are nothing to do with gods.
Yeah.
They're just completely separate entities. And I thought that was really interesting from the story point of view. All the angels on New Capenna, this portal opens to Nyx, and they just go, yeah, go on then. We ain't big fans of that, but we're here. So that was an interesting point of view. So Elspeth herself probably wouldn't become some kind of deity, but an idealized version of her, like you said, what people perceive her to be,
will suddenly appear into the Nyx.
Yeah.
And there'll be a god version of her.
Into the Nyx.
Can't wait.
Depends on if the deification statue is actually in Theros, though. If it's not in Theros and is in somewhere like New Capenna or something.
Yeah, that was an assumption on my part.
Yeah, but if it is in Theros, then that would be how it would work in terms of their world.
What was his name again?
Deification. The other card I wanted to talk about, where he looks up that, is Reckless Handling. 1 red, 1 non-specific for a sorcery. Search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle. So I'm pretty sure that's shuffle the deck. Then discard a card at random from your hand. If an artifact card was discarded this way, Reckless Handling deals 2 damage to each opponent. Your Jeskai deck will love that.
Yeah.
Because you can just shoot up a Sensei's Divining Top.
Yeah, the way my Elsher of the Infinite deck works is I've got cost reducers specifically for artifacts. Elsher allows me to cast stuff off the top of my library, so as soon as I've got Sensei Divining top down,
And
I
one
can just
cost
cast
reduction.
that, whatever. So if I'm like trying to go for a win through combat, I've just got prowess triggers for days and more win through combat damage. Or there's also a Thassa's Oracle win in there as well. So yeah.
Most artifact decks are going to love the fact that this card just exists.
My brain's still on deification a second. I'm looking at it. It looks
Suspiciously at first, doesn't it?
not even suspiciously. Also, deification is the act of turning something into a god. So
yeah. So there is a chance that we could have a Pharos god Elspeth, and everyone that plays artifact decks are now loving the fact that reckless handling is a thing.
Yeah.
And I suppose there's that red planeswalker. So there's a goblin planeswalker.
Oh yeah, the
Is it
goblin.
Duretti?
Duretti, yeah.
Yeah. Like if for Oathbreaker fans, new signature spell for Duretti decks.
Yeah, because you can just tutor for it.
Yeah, and it's got some graveyard interaction as well, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
So even if you lose what you're tutoring for, it's no big deal.
It's no big deal because you just deal 2 damage to everybody, and
Yeah.
you just use his ability to grab whatever it was you were getting anyway.
Yeah.
In fact, I think he brings it to the battlefield, so you probably get it quicker.
Yeah.
Moving
No big loss.
Moving on quickly for time purposes, we're going to go on to what it means for the lore, because in this set for Aftermath, because I'm pretty sure when I was doing my research on it, it said that it was spoiled through Amazon because they started putting up the pre-orders for Aftermath, and basically
It's always Amazon.
It is always Amazon, isn't it?
Jeff.
I'm sure Amazon spoiled a load of stuff for. I can't remember which set it was, but they published a book that told us that Jaya died.
Yeah.
They published a preview for a book and were like, after the death of her mentor under Chandra, and we were like, thanks, Amazon.
Well, it's because Amazon's worldwide, isn't it? So it's basically in every single country. They all get given the same email in different languages of this stuff gets posted. So it just means that one person puts an email in wrong on that language.
The guy that can't spell Magic the Gathering is just posting this listing, and he's like, yeah, it's not Lore Central, who cares?
Yeah, and then somebody posted it up, and then Amazon's like, that's not supposed to be up, take it down. But the internet will remember always and screenshot it.
And that's why you should prioritize your local game stores.
Amazon put up the sales line of join desparked planeswalkers as they rebuild what remains of the multiverse. I thought that last bit was interesting because they were like, what remains of the multiverse? And March of the Machine basically came to Elishnor being like, hey, I'm not going to take one plane at a time. We're going to take all of them at once.
Which honestly is the best way to do it if you're going to do it.
See, and that's where I disagree with you a little bit, because if it was me, I think one realm at a time where I could focus my resources. I think that's going to
just give people time to build against you, though, and that's what she was trying to prevent, because she was so worried about this white planeswalker coming against her. She was just like, if they hit them all at once, they're going to spread.
That is true. She was worried about Elspeth. The problem I had with it is the logic of she sent Sheoldred, the Apocalypse, to Dominaria. It was it Gix went and he failed, so Sheoldred was then sent.
She was, I'll send another mono black fucking.
And technically she failed in Dominaria. Vorinclex was sent on his mission to what's the plane called? Kaldheim. But in his mission in Kaldheim, he basically was a sleeper agent because he just got Tybalt was the distraction. And then he just basically rushed the World Tree. The main god that protects the World Tree was there. And was like, what are you? And he was like, out of my way. And then took a bit of the sap and just went out. That was it. So
I remember when Tybalt was following that, like the God of Lies thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Tybalt's actually got a decent card for a change. Good for you. And then it led to this, and he just Tybar yeeted him off a cliff, and I'm like, right, well, yet again, another thing from this story that's not going to bite us in the arse in 2 years.
You can either have a good card or a good story.
Pick. Don't wanna.
But yeah, Vorinclex basically succeeded in his mission, but he basically had to do it all through stealth and subterfuge,
which is just not what he
is not what he does because he's an apex predator. What is it? They sent Urabrask to New Capenna, and he came back with passion. So he was there like, I want to go against Elishnor. Jin
Worked out
Kataxia.
great for him, by the way.
Jin Kataxia sort of succeeds on Kamigawa, but again, they were doing the whole thing of subterfuge. They're not like attacking the plane.
So he wanted to, correct me if I'm wrong, find a way to complete planeswalkers because they were like the impossible task, and then he was like, fixed it.
Yeah,
and through the reality chip, right, which was designed to
stabilize the Wanderer.
That's right.
So the Wanderer was like, this thing that holds me to this plane. Hey, Tamio, hold this.
Tamio, hold this. Tamio, like, cool, I'm going to go fight Jin Kataxis now. Fights Jin Kataxis, loses, turns into a Phyrexian.
Jin Kataxis, meanwhile, he's like, oh, sick USB.
Sick USB. Like, this is the Planeswalker problem goes away.
Jellyfish. Remember, that was a creature type they attached to the fucking reality chip. It was jellyfish.
Yeah, because it could turn into a creature as a
concept. Yeah, that was a cool concept.
It was a very cool concept for the artifacts.
I mean, how many jellyfish are in MTG?
It's just interesting to see Elish Norm be there. Like, I have seen all of my guys go out to these planes, and whenever they've done a full assault, it's gone bad. But through subterfuge and just trying to sneak in and doing all stealth and stuff, it was a complete success. And she just decided, I'm going to attack everywhere at once, which was dumb because she hadn't even taken Mirrodin, like, fully.
Yeah, because there were still people hiding out in this random house.
Yeah.
Can we remember that apparently there was that safe house where they were just chilling?
Oh, yeah, because nothing with oil could cross the bound.
And I was like cool plot point. Can you explain why, though? No.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
There's 15 jellyfish in Magic the Gathering, for reference.
One little lore thing that has me quite intrigued as well is
also Tamio's child.
Yeah, so Tamio, as part of March from the Sheen, she dies. Tamio had a child, Nashi, and then in the new set, Nashi Moon's Legacy. In the art, it's scroll centric again, so you kind of get the idea of maybe Nashi is sort of picking up where
Tamio left
off. He's also wearing a little cape. But yeah, it's cute. I like that card.
But this whole Aftermath set is supposed to be the aftermath of this Great War, which lasted maybe a day.
Also, Nashi Moon's Legacy. Was Tamio a rat?
No, but it would mean then that she basically dated somebody who was a rat.
Because it's a rat shaman.
It's a rat shaman, yeah.
Or,
she was a moonfolk.
She was a moonfolk, correct.
So she was a moonfolk who, unless she adopted, she was a moonfolk who fell in love with a rat shaman, and we now have this card.
Because if I'd have just missed the fact that Tamio was a rat this whole time,
what have I been looking at all this time? No, she was moonfolk. Lore-wise, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to explain how all of these planeswalkers are desparked. Spoilers for all of those that don't know. I'm about to go off the list of all of the desparked planeswalkers from this guy opening the pack that we have confirmed. Khan, which we know sacrificed his spark to heal Ajani and Nissa.
I'm gonna, as you do this, I'm gonna go through and say a few words, just as you say them. So, was there?
Yeah. Nissa.
Was there?
Kiora.
Gets mentioned, I think.
She gets mentioned, yeah, but I don't know how she would lose.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. This is my question, because this means this is like a planar event. Like, this just
a load of people just start losing their sparks.
So
Sarkhan, that's why he's a legendary creature, which Josh wants in his dragon deck.
Yeah, again, wasn't there.
Nahiri, which who was confirmed basically dies because an entire city drops on her.
Happened to a prayer as well, apparently.
Oh, yeah, true.
To the best of us.
Which it was funny as well because she had sword arms, and now she's just there like a building dropped on her, and she was just kind of there like underneath it. Somebody comes along, cures her, and now she no longer has sword arms and is back to her regular self, except she can't planeswalk. The funniest is Ob Nixilis, because he's lost his spark twice, maybe.
This happens to him, and he's like, "Guess it's that time again."
Well, again, he went to New Capenna. He became he's the boss of the Maestros.
No, so the boss of the Maestros was Angelo.
He's
also became completed in the March from the Sheen story.
He's like a puppeteer, isn't he? Of Nixilis for like the whole plot line.
Yeah.
Because when I saw the card that he opened, it was like Ob Nixilis, the captive leader. So if you can find the Ob Nixilis spoiler,
captive leader.
Yeah, because he's a red-black legendary creature in this one. So Obnixilis in short has lost his spark. And another one is Tyvar. Tyvar's lost his spark. We know that because there's a enchantment card which shows all of the desparked planeswalkers, and Tyvar's one of the ones there. Captive Kingpin.
Yeah.
He's in Rakdos, 4/3, legendary creature demon, 2 black-red, flying trample. He flies now. Whenever one or more opponents lose exactly 1 life, no more, no less. Put a 1/1 counter on Obnixilis Captive Kingpin. Exile the top card of your library until your next end step. You may play that card. That is like perfectly black-red, by the way.
Yeah.
Because that does black things with the life gain thing, and it does red things with the put these cards in the bin and never play them again.
It's interesting they call him the Captive Kingpin.
Yeah, that's what stuck out to me, because my mind immediately goes to Angels have returned to Capenna. Are the Angels looking to take some sort of vengeance on the demons
for the betrayal?
For the betrayal. So that's kind of where my mind goes.
But they're not looking to just kill him, because that's not what Angels do.
No.
They're looking for justice.
Yeah,
it's just an interesting word for Captive Kingpin, because he means he's stuck and he can't leave against his will, but they've made him the leader of something.
Or it's just kind of like a reference to his past life, maybe.
Maybe. Because again, like, he's lost his spark, so he can't planeswalk.
Yeah, he can't run away from this. The Angels got him by the proverbial balls.
And just to throw with Tyvar as well, Tyvar's also got his own card, which is pretty cool, for like the elf ball decks.
Okay, stand corrected. There's another 5 color card in my bubble.
Tyvar the Bellicose, 2 generic, 1 black, 1 green, elf warrior for 5/4. Whenever 1 or more elves you control attack, they gain death touch until the end of turn. Each creature you control has, whenever a mana ability of this creature resolves, put a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to the amount of mana this creature could produce. This ability triggers only once each turn.
Because, elf needed more.
Yeah. So your elf mana dorks will get 1 bigger. Then there's like Marwyn that, like, whenever an elf BTB, she gets bigger and can tap for however big she is. So she's just going nuts with this deck.
Yep.
With this commander, rather. Yeah.
But lore-wise, we're going to be basically finding out all about these planeswalkers, and from my count, that's 7 planeswalkers that have been knocked off the list.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Massive for the lore-wise, because that means that there's probably only maybe just over 10 planeswalkers left.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what happened to Jace. We don't know what happened to Vraska, because they're still out there.
Vraska, I'm pretty sure, dies.
Did Vraska die? I thought
she goes.
She don't hear anything about her.
She goes to Ravnica, fights Ral Zarek, and they're not really friends; they're rivals. So Ral Zarek hits her with a bolt, because when she goes to Ravnica, there's apparently a part of her that's nagging her in her brain, saying, "Stop doing this; it's wrong."
It's the Tamio thing, isn't it? Where she's like phases out when else no one's talking to her.
I'm pretty sure that people are basically assuming that Jace, when he was doing that mind thing with her, basically trapped a bit of the personality in her bit in her head. So during that fight with Ral Zarek gets the upper hand and goes boop and nukes her off a building. And she just falls. So it's the thing with there's no body, no confirmation, but
exactly.
She's been hit.
They didn't collect the dog tags, man.
No collection of dog tags, so we don't know what it is.
And you've got to wonder how many new planeswalkers we're going to get from these events, because like sparks are ignited by stress and things.
Yeah,
so
it's there was a book I read years ago, and it was about like people's powers always ignite under stress and duress. So they always try and press them into these situations, but it obviously like passively happens because Magic the Gathering's just like fucking Coronation Street with cards.
Oh no! Look at the lore again.
Oh no! This character's sleeping with this character. They already have a wife. It happened. But like we've got people coming back all the time, like fucking Dirty Den. Tazri's here.
Tazri's there.
Yeah. So during this podcast, so all these spoilers have been ripped off the internet. This one particular website I always use for spoilers, turns out they have a back end way to get into this page.
Oh wow.
So I'm here now. Tazri's back. So she used to be a really good ally commander, I believe she was mostly played as. Was she the one? No, she was a human warrior where Beacon of Unity, Zendikar. Well, she's got a new version that's 5 colours again. And each creature you control has to add 1 mana of any of this creature's colour. Spend this mana only to activate an ability of a creature. Activate only if this creature has another activated ability. It's activated ability tribal in a set that also is bringing into standard training grounds. It has another ability, Wooburg. Mill 5 cards. Put all creature cards with activated abilities that aren't mana abilities from amongst the milled cards into your hand.
Oh, wow.
So if you just play activated ability tribal, you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and thank you.
She would also be good to include in the new Niv Mizzet decks.
Yeah.
For the self-mill.
It's just activated stuff. It's insane. So yeah, I've got all the spoilers again now. Sigurda. She is from...
Theros?
No, she's the... Oh, isn't she from Werewolves, Vampires?
She does pop up in that...
Innistrad.
But I don't think that's her origin, because I'm sure I've seen cards of her pop up in, oh, gosh. The Eldritch set. Do you know the one I mean?
Eldritch Moon.
Yeah.
It's Innistrad, isn't it?
That is Innistrad, yeah.
But she always seems to be a card that crops up and is always trying to bring angels and humans together and merge those worlds. Yet again, she's back in green, white, which is weird for those, but they're flying other permanents you control off hexproof. Insane.
That is great.
You may look at the top card of your library at any time and cast angels and human spells from the top of your library.
Oh, she's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. What else we got? People coming back. Calyx, Guided by Fate. He's another planeswalker.
He's the Barras one. He's the one that they sent after Elspeth.
His alt art is the standard Theros alt art of like a constellation again, so I don't think that's spoilery. But you're on about desparked planeswalkers, and that's why I was hunting for this spoiler.
He's a desparked planeswalker, so we got 8 on the list now.
Yeah. So I was trying to find this card, and this is how I've gotten it. Sparked Rupture. So in the artwork for this card, I can see Nissa, Obnixilis, Karn, Kiora.
Tyvar. I think Tyvar's the far left one.
This one?
Yeah.
I thought it was Nissa. She looks weirdly geometric. I don't like it.
Elves.
But then I think pretty sure that's Calyx. But the card says whenever Spark Rupture enters the battlefield, draw a card for 2 colours and a white. It's in white. Card draw. Let's go. Each planeswalker with 1 or more loyalty counters on it loses all abilities and is a creature with power and toughness equal to the number of loyalty counters on it. Your Super Friends deck just became Voltron.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Ooh, that's interesting.
So it is a card that desparks planeswalkers.
Oh, wow.
On the field. It's a lore tool in the game.
And I appreciate more cards, bringing lore into the game. Like I'd like to see more of that.
Yeah, in more future sets, more lore-heavy cards would be a great thing, especially for lore nerds.
Yeah, it's story spotlight stuff. Isn't it?
But make it more prevalent to the game. Because I've noticed like a lot of the story spotlight cards are just very mid mechanically.
Yeah, you play them.
Yeah,
you go, cool. I like the artwork.
Yeah.
Was there any more plot points you wanted to bring up?
I wanted to go off. What do you guys think is going to happen with the stories going from here? Because what's the next set? Because they tease what the roadmap is.
Eldraine, I want to say.
Wilds of Eldraine.
Yeah.
I'm wondering what they're going to do with the stories, because obviously we have now got 8 planeswalkers that have been desparked, and Aftermath is going to be basically talking about these planeswalkers kind of dealing with the fact that they can't planeswalk anymore.
Yeah.
Are we then going to go to the next set, and it's just going to be... Because for the past, we'll say, 10 years, the entirety of the story has been dominated by the Gatewatch, and it is just the equivalent of a random city has a problem, and traveller from far away another land comes in and somehow has the ideas to fix all of the problems, even though...
Usually makes it worse.
It usually makes it worse, but... It's the whole thing of some planeswalkers will be from the equivalent of Innistrad, and they'd end up in New Capenna, and they'll fix New Capenna's problems, even though New Capenna is mafias with lightning guns, and Innistrad is we got zombie invasions every weekend. So
looks like a red moon again. Time to board up the window.
so it's just an entirely different worlds. But now, there's been leaks that lore-wise, all of the other planes are still somewhat connected.
Yeah, but it's not been confirmed yet, as we know.
So, what do you guys think will happen to the plot?
I think Realmbreaker probably just weakened everything.
Yeah, or my sort of headcanon theory right now is that the reason why we've got so many desparked planeswalkers is they've, obviously for the ones that were completed, that's a little bit of a tricky one. But for the ones that weren't but have somehow lost their spark, I'm wondering, did they give up their spark to create a more connected multiverse? Because we already know that things like the planar bridge exists through uses of sparks. Has there just been some sort of agreement for people who are maybe tired of the spark or the responsibility, or what have you? Have they really given up their spark to create this more connected universe? And I think that would be cool.
Playing a highway,
basically. Yeah.
We know that, say, like Nahiri, for example, because the only way that Ajani and Nissa were saved was they had the living cure. What's her name, Melora?
Yeah.
They had her there and Khan was like, "Hey, Melora, take my spark, because I don't want it anymore. Use it to cure Ajani and Nissa." And Ajani got killed, and he has his spark, so he can still planeswalk, but Nissa cannot.
Because hers was fractured.
But Nahiri, again, died in Zendikar, basically. But we have confirmed now that something has saved her. So is it another planeswalker? Because what planeswalker would have given up their spark to save Nahiri?
Because no one liked Nahiri.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. I'm wondering if, maybe Sorin, because Sorin could probably have teleported there and been there.
Aren't they enemies though, Sorin and?
Yeah, but it's the whole thing of he was her mentor. Then they were friends. Then she was like, "I asked for your help and you didn't come kill the Eldrazi, so I'm gonna."
Maybe it could be a cool redemption arc for him, sort of thing. And
the sooner he fails and everything else, part of that one thing he did.
So I'm trying to look through the artworks for clues here as best I can. There's a green card called Open the Way that clearly has Nissa and Chandra walking through some woods, and there's some blue lightning stuff going on in there.
So they've opened up some portals to go somewhere.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up this card, and it's kind of like my honourable mention.
Cool.
Filter Out. Have you seen this card?
Oh, the blue-white card.
No, it's just
blue. That can return all non-land permanents and non-creature permanents to hand.
1 colourless, 2 blue pips. Return all non-creature, non-land permanents to their owner's hands. Cyclonic Rift.
Cyclonic Rift, but doesn't hit creatures.
It's so good. I love it.
Yeah. That's going to be massive.
Good for Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
But yeah, in terms of lore-wise, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do with the story. I'm hoping that they are going to be talking about more of the legendary creatures of each of the sets, because originally that's what it basically was the story about. Because you got Sisay, Gerard the Weatherlight Captain.
Because originally their whole thing was we're going to deal with the Praetors, and
then we got to deal with the Slivers. So it was all focused on legendary creatures and what was happening in terms of their worlds and all that. Then planeswalkers became big, and planeswalkers would planeswalk into these areas and be like, "I'm here to solve your problems because of reasons." Now planeswalkers are losing their spark. Is it all going to be about the legendary creatures again?
My brain went ahead to Commander Masters then, and I was like, Planeswalker Sliver Commander.
Slivers get a planeswalker.
They sparked up.
All slivers are planeswalkers. What? But no, it's going to be interesting if they, because all of the realms are technically connected in some sort of way. It does mean that, say, certain demons or big threats, specifically in something like Dominaria, now have access to basically go, "I don't like Dominaria, they keep bullying me here," and just hop over to a new realm.
And that is where the kind of story potential really opens up then, isn't it? It's just sort of mixing those worlds and how they would interact with one another. And
so Nicol Bolas is trapped in a meditative plane, isn't he?
Yes.
If we go down this weird rabbit hole of saying the walls between planes have gotten thinner and they're easier to travel between now passively.
Nicol Bolas comes back.
He's one of the last living bad guys right now in Magic.
And was he pre-mending Planeswalker?
He was pre-mending Planeswalker, but he lost his spark and all of his powers.
Okay.
I was going to say, where you were saying he was the last living bad guy, there's a sleeper agent we haven't talked about. It's Tezzeret. He's still out there.
Yeah, he's going to see Nico Bolas. Sir.
Or was it because he's dying due to his dark steel body? Because that's why he teamed up with the Phyrexians, because they were going to give him a body that he's not going to die
They
from.
gave him something, and he was like, cool, I'm out. And they were like, what?
Yeah.
Because isn't he a walking planar bridge, if I'm remembering correctly?
Basically,
Isn't that how, like, Jink Tax initially got to Kamigawa?
Yeah, they couldn't planeswalk.
Yeah.
He was basically the taxi service.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that's the thing. He realised Alice Norm was going to betray him, so he jumped out. And that's how the strike team formed, because he went over to, I think it was Jace or one of the main planeswalkers, and was like, hey, yo, this is happening. But it was great because he went over to betray Elish Norm, but then jumped back to tell Elish Norm, by the way, the strike team is coming, and jumped out because he likes playing both sides, apparently.
I love that gif. It always reminds me of the one where the kids goes and fades out.
Anytime anything goes wrong, Tezzeret's just like, I'm out, and swaps sides. But yeah, no, Tezzeret is still a main threat because he basically is like,
he's basically applying a bridge as well. He's not technically planeswalking in the Spark.
He just walk.
He just do it.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting because technically Jace is just MIA, and if when Vraska was killed, she actually had a part of herself inside her head that was restricted away from the Phyrexian corruption, then it means that if Jace could do that to himself as well, that when the command center of Phyrexia went offline and all of the Phyrexians went into stasis, Jace and Vraska wouldn't, because they still have their other personality.
Let's, for a second, assume that you just power down, you fall to the floor. Let's say Jace, Vraska, Tibalt all just went and conked out. We've seen what happens if they're cured.
Yeah.
We haven't seen what happens over time if they can heal, reboot, if a new master of the hive mind could come about. Because Jace, in theory, could fill that role and become a new big bad.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Jace is, in theory, one of the most powerful planeswalkers because he can just make you forget this ever happened.
Yeah. Which would be very interesting in terms of like a story-wise of where legendary creatures or planeswalkers would meet up with Jace and see Jace is doing all this stuff. And they'd be like, I'm going to tell everybody what about you're doing. And he just goes, no. And they're like, where am I? Who am I?
Guess I'm going to go sailing on Ixalan. Also, like, my biggest plot point from the end of this set comes back again. Teferi went, cool, that acorn's probably Ren. And took an acorn off of Realmbreaker and planted it in his home city that he just phased back in.
Yeah.
This is never going to come back to haunt.
Planeswalkers don't do a lot of things that are smart, do they? It's like they get like a big win of where they're like
children. They're just children.
They kill two of the main big Eldrazi, and then they get the third one, the final one, Emrakul, and they're just basically they're like, put her in the moon, I guess. And then when they put her in the moon, it's just like Jace going, oh, that's what she wanted. Because she realized that the other two Eldrazi weren't there. And it's like, what do you mean? That's what she wanted? It was like, I thought it would be a good idea to put her in the moon because she said to do it.
Meanwhile, Innistrad. Just Legend of Zelda, this face in the moon slowly approaching.
It was again like with Nico Bolas, wasn't it? Like all of them were basically like, if we get the Black Forged Blade, we can kill Nico Bolas. And then Gideon stabbed Nico Bolas with it, and it breaks, and he was just like, "Aha! I tricked you. I was the one that made up the fact that the Black Forged Blade did that. It actually didn't. It was just a stupid blade. I've tricked you all."
So this, I'm behind on this bit of lore. Is Gideon dead? Do we have a body?
Yes. Well, no. Gideon disintegrated. So technically he died. There's a statue of him, and I think there's a short story which basically says that because before he was Gideon, before he planeswalked, he was Kyphian, and there was a short story, and basically at the end it shows that Kyphian is in Nyx. So
I'm hearing no.
Yeah. So we have almost a 90% confirmation that he is officially dead. But again, we've seen Elspeth die and journey out of Nyx. So
yeah, I think. So hear me out. I think we're going to have Eldraine and Ixalan. Both are going to be a little bit of fun. They're not going to be sets driving a hard story because they want to give us some time to just play some fun BS Magic without it being high stakes, without you going, what does this card mean for the world?
Eldraine is the fairy tale one and Ixalan's the pirate one.
pirate dinosaur, merfolk,
and vampires.
and conquistadors.
Yeah.
Vampisadors.
And they were also planes that played. They were in. They were part of the story. They came up there, so there could still be some ramifications of.
Yeah, it's going to be us going. Okay, how's the cleanup going here? How's the cleanup going here?
Well, we
Because
know
Eldraine is Wilds of Eldraine.
Yeah.
Not the city. This
That's
is not
right.
following Royalty and Knights.
Yeah.
This is
But we
following
know-
the Beast, Beauty and the
Yeah.
Beast. We're going to be going into the darker, grim fairy tales now.
Yeah.
But we know that the royalty, in terms of the king and queen, are both dead
Correct.
through the spoiler.
We don't know how.
Yeah.
And we also don't know who's going to fill their boots.
Yeah.
Because
So
the main queen that was completed in this story, I'm blanking on her name now. She's also gone, I believe. The one that then aligned with black and red.
Yeah.
You know the one I mean?
yeah.
But then we've got what are their names? Two planeswalkers.
Will and
Oh yeah, Rowan.
Rowan.
Kenry.
Yeah.
They're both in line for the throne. So are we going to end up with this like weird
Battle between them.
Are they going to? They're either going to fight over the throne, or they're going to team up and try and do something about the state of Eldraine.
Yeah.
Or, personally, from the trailer for March of the Machines we had, I want the gingerbread man and woman to be queen.
Best part of the trailer.
No, you're wrong. Colossal Dreadnought was the best part of the trailer, but it was a close second.
Just gonna check out the camera.
Cool. We're gonna move on from all of that because we have two other things that we need to go through. And first off, still recording? Brilliant. First off, Oathbreaker at Geek Retreat this Friday from recording, so that'll be 5 days from now.
The 28th.
The 28th, everybody.
We're on the 23rd for reference.
We'll be doing a Oathbreaker event. And if you forgot what Oathbreaker is, or you haven't watched the earlier video, Oathbreaker is a singleton format where you're only allowed one of each card. It's basically Commander, but 60 cards.
20 life.
20 life. You have a
footage. You just watch me realize the fact that if we're desparking planeswalkers, what we have is what we're getting right now for that format.
where everyone's fighting each other.
Well, no more planeswalkers, brother.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are going to be new ones, but we might just.
We know
see it
Frentorius is
for a
coming.
while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But are they going to treat them the same?
Yeah, be interesting.
Okay.
Your commander is a planeswalker, sort of a planeswalker of your choice, and your signature spell has to be an instant or sorcery. Sits alongside it, so it'll be 58 cards in your deck, and a commander planeswalker and a commander signature spell, instant or sorcery. We'll be doing that this Friday. Come on down.
Come on down.
Bring your own Oathbreaker decks. We'll have different power levels. Some people will be running nice decks. Other ones will be running absolute evil decks. Elspeth will be kind of a nice deck.
Yeah, I've also got a Jace Mill deck with people.
That will be awful. But it's a new format.
Try.
It'll be a new format. Everybody will be coming down. There'll be people who have been playing it for a while, and there'll be people who'll be starting it for the first time.
That would be me.
Before we finish then, guys, before we have to open up the store and stuff, there was a question I wanted to give you guys. We're in the end step of the podcast now.
We're in the end game.
Where is the question? There it is. Wizards basically have recognized Oathbreaker as a format, and they said that they're not planning immediately on making product for it.
But they have like a 3-year development cycle.
They do.
Yeah. And that was the thing. I was going to ask, do you want Wizards to make Oathbreaker products?
Yes. But I'm also of the mind that product fatigue is a thing, especially within Magic the Gathering.
You said it.
Whilst I want more of a spotlight on Oathbreaker as this new, I say emerging format. It's been around for a few years, but it's there's a lot of hype around it right now. And I want that to spread. But it's hard to ask for more product when there's so much product out
already
there,
out.
or more already. I wish they would sort of just focus more. Just spread the sets out a little bit, allow us to sort of spend more time with the cards before we get even more cards.
I agree with that one because what was it? All will be one. By the time that I was there, thinking to myself, I'm gonna go off and buy more packs and stuff. Geek Retreat had basically got rid of most of their stuff. So they're like, we're just waiting on our next batch to come through. But by the time that they were like, we're waiting for the next batch to come through, they had already started spoiling March of the Machine.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I have to get all of these cards now.
Yeah.
So I would say I don't have enough time to basically soak in what's there.
Yeah.
Because I think it was with March of the Machine recently when I was like, oh, I'm going to go into Phyrexian Tribal. I saw like a few black cards from All Will Be One that are Phyrexians that were absolute gas. And I was like, I didn't know these existed. I haven't seen anyone pull them or anyone talk about them. So
because they didn't matter until the new stuff came out and they had tribal support. So it's very hard to play a tribal deck when you don't have tribal support.
Yeah.
One of my big things is playing tribes in decks. I love tribes in decks, apart from elves. Get in the bin. Recon ruined it for me, sorry. But you've got these cards that come about and they go, okay, cool. All this tribe get this. Slivers are like the chief amongst those. They are the kings of tribal. Not that strong these days, but hey. But Phyrexians now have things like players can't play more than one non-Phyrexian card per turn. That was an uncommon.
Yeah, so that's their stacks piece.
Yeah. There's also like all Phyrexians game 1/1. Things like that are required to run a tribe efficiently, and now they have that.
They have that black-white card from the precon of where whenever a Phyrexian dies, they proliferate as well, which is an absolute busted thing, especially if you have a Tracks of the Praetor's Voice, because she's just proliferate triggers.
I pulled this in my pre-release kit, and it's the only reason I made a 4-color deck.
It was it's a 5 day, brother.
But yeah, great card.
What about you, Kieran? Do you want them to make Oathbreaker products?
I'm going to say this as someone that works with these cards every day and owns way too much product. God, no. The issue is you have... So we can see it now. Magic the Gathering call their premier format standard.
Yeah.
They say that's their premier format, and that's because it's their most competitive format, it's their cycling format, it's their safest format to play competitively. Your issue is you're starting to see it's easy to say power creep, but that always happens.
Yeah.
And then you see the format contract when they rotate and the cards get smaller scale again, and then you expand and then it gets weaker again. It always happens. The issue is you start to see cards just sprinkling into standard that aren't good for standard. And you go, what's this for? It's not for standard. Battles are not for standard. Those cards do not function in a good, safe, or they're not fast enough for standard at high level play. They end up in your bulk bin.
Yeah.
Commander at high level play, they're not good for. But for your casual, chill game of Commander, where everyone's just playing for a bit of fun and not playing for turn 3 wins, they're busted. They're broken. Ikoria, Battle for Ikoria. The fact that I can swing at you with Gishath, and it doesn't matter if you block or not, I'm still hitting you for 12.
Yeah.
Like, it's not... They're putting cards into product now that are not for that format. And we're going to start seeing weird Planeswalker support just randomly appearing in standard sets that don't care about Planeswalkers.
I think if they were going to do it, I think the best way to do it is have like Oathbreaker starter decks where they've designed cards that are only available in these starter decks, or, you know, side products that are designed for Oathbreaker. Like we got like a lot of the Commander Legends introduce sort of like more Commander specific
What
cards.
you're asking for is, like you just said, Commander Legends. You're asking, so we've got Commander Masters August 4th. But that's, yet again, just contributes to this product fatigue that you've just talked about. We're going to end up with Oathbreaker Masters. We end up with Oathbreaker packs.
Yeah.
We're going to end up with product designed for one specific niche player base.
Yeah.
That, from a store point of view, we could buy that in, and 10 people can buy it. It's not, and then Wizards of the Coast just sat on this product forever because they've overindulged in what they thought was going to be something great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd love to see it, but I hate the idea of it from a point of view of someone that sees product cycles on a daily basis. Pokemon, we get one set every
2 months?
2-3 months, ballpark.
Wow. It's even more than Magic then.
They only have one format.
It's standard and standard alone.
Oh, okay.
Expanded is not officially supported by them. Well, it is and isn't.
Yeah.
They don't care about it. Because otherwise they'd have a bad list. Yu-Gi-Oh! They have one format, and they look after that format like a precious little baby. Wizards of the Coast are going to run into the problem of trying to support Commander, Standard, Modern,
Legacy.
Legacy in general, Oathbreaker.
They also got all their problems
Pauper.
with Magic the Gathering Arena, with Alchemy, Brawl.
Yeah.
They're diversifying their product to such a point that they don't know what the product's for anymore.
Yeah.
Like I said, battles weren't for Standard. In the Commander set, the precons, which we've sold out of because they are cracked, fair play, but they weren't built for Commander.
They were built for Plane Chase.
They were built for Plane Chase. There are cards in them that interact with Plane Chase. They're mid in every other setting but Plane Chase. Far be it from me, as someone that sells this product, and I want you to buy it because I paid my wages. But I don't think going, Oathbreaker's great, is healthy to the point where we should be building product for it. We should be using product that's already existing and built for other formats and finding a place for it within a new form, rather than designing product for that format.
It's really well argued.
Yeah.
I was going to jump off that of being there, like using the stuff that has already been printed, because I was like, I would be interested to see what Wizards think an Oathbreaker game is like. Because from us playing Oathbreaker when we were like first doing it, it would be like some matches would go up to 50 minutes of an hour.
Yeah, I know Liam had asked us to start timing our matches, and it was anywhere between half an hour to 50 minutes. So it was like a nice.
It's meant to be a quick game as well.
Yeah,
but now everyone's been making their decks faster and more streamlined.
Yeah,
we can get a match going and probably ending, if everyone's playing quickly, in like 20 to 30 minutes. The equivalent of someone's lunch break.
Yeah. Like initially when I first had my deck, it was I built it from a Commander perspective in mind because that's just what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But then as I've seen like sort of the decks rated, I'm like, oh well, I need to adapt. I need to build,
improvise, adapt, overcome.
Basically,
everything has now become faster because as much as it stresses me out every time he plays it, Adam's dragon deck, his team dragon deck, it's the equivalent of he gets Sarkhan out, and Sarkhan's only really there for Jeska's Will. Then he Jeska's Wills twice, gets out Terror of the Peaks and some other creature, and then swings with dragons, and he's just immediately wiped the entire board. And it's the thing, if you sit there for a while and go, okay, so I need to change my entire mono black deck to, instead of being there like, I'm going to play Zombie Tribal and be fun, I'm going to have to get, Buried Alive. So I can go through my deck, chuck 3 merchants into the bin, and then just immediately bring them back and just spam them on board.
So I've been playing Commander probably since mid-2020, properly.
Mm-hmm.
And we made a joke before the podcast started, we live in a format. You see an evolution of decks as we go on, as sets come out. So when I started playing, it was janky, weird, BS, whatever you've got to throw together. And that is what Commander started as, I feel like. It started as, let's try this and see how this works, because we had enough cards to do it.
Yeah.
Now, we've gone through precon eras, so deflecting SWAT, things like that came in, and it became an arms race for cards like that. The Elf precon came out for 20 quid, and tokens just filled roofs.
Yeah.
Like, you had everyone here playing token decks, for example, when I came here. And now what we're starting to see is
everyone running Spellslinger combo.
Spellslinger combo is taking off. Arcane Bombardment. It was a great idea to invest in that card, by the way.
I just realised I'm guilty of all those things. Like, my introduction to Commander was the Elf pre-precon. I run Spellslinger decks, 2 Spellslinger decks. Like, it's
in your playgroup, everyone will see it. So retrospective yourself right now as a Commander player. Look back on every deck you've built, and you'll notice that you've gone through these distinct phases. And I feel like Wizards of the Coast slightly encourages that, because they are the ones that have printed these cards. They are the ones that have printed these precons and pushed Commander from a casual kitchen table, drinks and friends format to a more competitive, faster, And almost these commander decks are like CDH levels. They're like borderline 5 cards away from being busted.
The Plane Chase Knight deck was one that shocked me because of its Eminence ability.
Yeah. And all Knights have Eminence. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It was the moment that I saw that deck and was just going up against it, I was like, oh, well, this is unbusted. And then Yayan was playing the backup commander, and it was just one card inclusion in it, and it was just basically by turn 4, it's like, I play my backup commander, it'll get an additional +1/+1, it will have haste, all of these abilities. I swing this card, then puts another 4 counters on it. It's now a 10/10. His ability triggers, it doubles.
Yeah.
And he's like swinging for 20 damage by turn 4. And I was just like, this is a precon.
Yeah. Like decks like that, you look at it and you go, okay, so what's Wizards of the Coast not put in here that they clearly feel like you should put in here?
Yeah.
And half the time it's things like, equipment deck that's loads of triggers. Why am I not running Strionic?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah,
because that's why I'm wondering what they will think of what the Oathbreaker format is. Because if they then sell products and we get given these Oathbreaker decks and we just say like, Wizards, these suck. Do you know how Oathbreaker decks are played?
So I'm not familiar with the first round of Commander decks, and probably for next time that'd be an interesting thing to compare.
The first round of Commander decks, if I was playing back then, is either the one with Derevi, the Imperial Tactician. So the Flicker guy, the one commander that's the Esper coloured one that if it sits in the command zone you gain 2 life at the start of your upkeep.
Yeah.
It was either those or it was all of the ones with Eminence, so Edgar Markov and stuff.
I'm sure Eminence was a little bit later.
It'd be interesting to do theoretical games, or if someone's got them, try and play original precons against things we've got now and see what the power level differences are.
Oh, that would be cool. I would love to see that.
If we all played a pod with the original 4 commander decks versus a pod with the more modern decks, do we feel like Wizards of the Coast now has a better grasp on what that format means and what that format does? Because Oathbreaker's existed now for a while and they've only just adopted it.
Yeah.
Do they know what Oathbreaker is like what you guys have just said? And do we feel like if they did product, they'd even understand what they were making?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Most of the times I've watched any Oathbreaker matches online, it's just been people being there like, I play this card, and they just turbo into a combo. It's rush into combo.
Yeah. I would like to see, because again, sort of going back to Commander being that tabletop drinks with friends format, I think a pivotal for me would be Oathbreaker leaning more towards the competitive side, EDH sliding back to the more casual side, and that I think that would be a perfect
Jank with friends.
Jank with friends. Yeah.
Mini Oathbreaker being seen as a mini competitive commander format would be a very good thing.
Well, this is why I've got a Shrine deck and I've bought the 5-color Painbow deck, and Shrines now isn't quick enough to play a commander game.
Yeah.
Back when I built it, nuts, great fun. No one could stop it. Now it's not quick enough. In Oath, my attempt now is I've got Jared there. I've got Painbow in a box here. I've got Shrines here. Can I make those 2 decks function together? Like in an Oathbreaker setting where it's quick enough now because I've got less cards in the stack to deal with.
Oh, that's true. So that's the benefit with Oathbreaker, is just less cards.
Yeah.
You only have to, if you run 5 tutor spells, you're likely to get into it by the first 4 draws.
Trying to tutor for themselves, so all I've got to do is hit the right one at the right time and get to 5 colours, and that's it now. Is Oathbreaker just going to be an arms race format?
Yeah.
And when you can run like Vampiric Tutor as your commander, effectively is the signature spell. That's you're increasing the consistency of your deck and just as your arms race.
Yeah, we've not even managed to get onto the ban list talk yet. Yeah, because that was originally what today was meant to be. We were meant to talk about
happened,
and then we had leaks like Arnie Metalbrow here.
So yeah, because the ban list is nuts, and I think I do want to do a deep dive topic on that at some point.
For those who are interested in Oathbreaker and I'm in an hour about it, Prophet of Crufix, Braids, Cabal Minion, Primeval Titan.
If your friends have ever gone, that's banned in Commander, it's probably not banned in Oathbreaker.
Probably not banned in Oathbreaker. So if you were like, I love these cards in Commander, but they got banned, and you want to run a faster Commander format, Oathbreaker. You'll do a match in 20 minutes.
Yes.
And go, what just happened?
Anyway, we're gonna have to wrap this up now. So thank you everybody for listening. Hope the spoilers have excited you as much as we've seen these and been there. Like, wow, they're gonna have to release these spoilers in 2 weeks, and basically
they may as well just dump them online and be done with it.
The entire list is already spoiled.
Yeah, I can't wait for them to drop a spoiler and go, "Oh, here's the story to go alongside it," and us all just to go, really don't give a shit.
They're gonna have one of those people come in, like one of the influencers, to come in and be there, like, a big thing has happened to the Planeswalkers. You're gonna hear someone in the audience, they're desparked, we know. Show us the cards.
Mr. Beast there in the corner, like, we've pitched 5 Planeswalkers against each other. Called Oathbreaker, you've got a product coming, we know.
All right, thank you everyone for listening. I don't know. I've been Lincoln.
I've been Josh.
And I'll always be Kieran.
Bye-bye.